What is it about palm trees? Palm trees are everywhere here in Los Angeles, and I think I've probably taken about 500 pictures of palm trees since we moved to Los Angeles. And maybe it's just me, but when I see the outline of palm trees against the sky, it just gives me a sense of calm and wonder. But I don't think it is just me. I looked into it a little bit, and the phoenix palm, going all the way back to ancient Egypt, was a symbol of immortality. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all use the palm as a symbol in their texts. So some of the first palm trees that were brought to LA were planted in front of the Catholic missions. Palm Sunday is the Sunday before Easter in the Catholic Church, and palm branches are handed out to parishioners, and it's meant to be a symbol of the accepting Jesus into Jerusalem. They were waving palms at him or something. It also didn't hurt that the palm trees made nice decorations in front of the missions. I'm a fairly lapsed Catholic, and until I was looking into this, it never even occurred to me that my fascination with this palm tree imagery might stem from early church memories. I suppose it's possible. I'm gonna guess it's more the whole tropical paradise thing, but you never know. Looking into the history of palm trees in LA, I learned that most, if not all, of the trees here that I see walking around were transplanted here, mostly from Mexico. This image that I have, I think of this quintessential LA, didn't exist 100 years ago. I mean, obviously the city was different, but the trees weren't here. The palm trees didn't exist. And they also might not exist 100 years from now, but that's more on that later. Much like the manicured green yards that mimic Victorian stately lawns, we can blame the whims of Victorian England for the palm trees here in LA, and also maybe for the reason I think they embody paradise. Here's a quote from a book called Trees in Paradise. In Royal Botanical Gardens and private greenhouses, cultivated fronds provided aesthetic escapism. Palms began to signify wealth and luxury, as well as tropicality. The tourism industry of the Victorian era added more associations, leisure and fun. So palm trees mean leisure and fun and paradise, tropical paradise. Probably the biggest planting of palm trees in Los Angeles was in 1931. Over 40,000 Mexican fan palms were planted along hundreds of miles of boulevard. It was part of a public works program that was meant to provide jobs and to beautify the city in anticipation of the 1932 Olympics, which were held in Los Angeles. They chose the palm trees because they're easy to transplant. They have a large ball root system that rips up and moves easily, and it gave that illusion of the tropics. And also, at the time, they were very cheap. A lot of these trees are still here today, but maybe not much longer. While some palm trees in their native land can live 500 years, these transplanted trees were expected to maybe live 100, 150 years, best case scenario. But we're no longer in the best case scenario. There is a parasitic beetle and a fungus that's affecting the trees, and they're starting to die off already, even less than 100 years later. There's currently no plan to replace any of these trees, which means that in a generation or two, you won't see palm trees lining the streets of LA. The only place you'll really see that image is in the movies. Of course, other than creating this illusion of paradise, palm trees were never really a great choice for Southern California. They require a lot of water, and we live in a desert. They don't provide much shade, and we live in a desert. But they do evoke paradise. And maybe this is just because people in Victorian times decided that this was a symbol of tropical paradise, and they transplanted the tree and the idea all over the world, but it's still kind of true. There's a part of me that a little bit wishes I hadn't done this research because now I know what I know. Palm trees are essentially tall ornamental grass, and I hate that we grow grass in the desert already, and now I kind of don't like the fact that we have palm trees in the desert. But I'll still enjoy the palm trees. Some of the magic's gone, but I'm still going to enjoy them. So one of the more fun things I came across when I was putting this all together was a website called Polish Palm Houses. And there's a blurb on their front website that asks, do you long to relax in the luxurious shade of palm trees? And I thought that was amusing. But I looked at some of the pictures on there, and it reminded me that when I lived in Minnesota, in St. Paul, there is a palm house at the Como Conservatory. They call it the Palm Dome, but it looked almost exactly like the Polish palm houses. And I've been there many times, and I imagine I will be there again. I probably will be there next winter, walking around asking the same question: what is it about palm trees?